Welcome to Mastery Podcast, where story reveals the secret of an empowered and abundant life. Today, we have with us Raja Sampathi. He is the founder of Calm Corporate. His superpower is simplifying mindfulness for business. And he has programs like Mindfulness in Action and Serenity and Success. He designed his programs designed for corporates, designed for regular people, entrepreneurs. His online courses offer on-the-go learning, interactive quizzes, and expert guidance. His mission is to boost business success by addressing burnout, work relationships, and low morale through mindfulness. He's not your average mindfulness teacher. He's an insider who brings humor and strategy to corporate world. Welcome, Raja.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sass. Excited to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm just going to give you a hug.
Yes, absolutely. Hugger here. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a hugger.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, Raja, tell us a little bit about how you get here. I know you were in the corporate world, in one of those positions where you're the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And what situation happened in your life where you're creating this mindfulness program?
Sure. So at the peak of my professional success or career or whatever you call it, I was leading multi-million-dollar projects, still leading multiple teams. I realized that my personal life was a mess. My relationships with women, the partners, for lack of a better term, was a clusterfuck. My relationships with my mother and sister, my immediate family, they were nothing to talk about. I don't think I had the greatest relationship with the most important person in this world, which is myself. So at that time, I fell into this deep end of a 10-day meditation program called Vipassana, which is a silent meditation. I talk about it a lot in my blogs too. And that was my first foray into mindfulness. It was undoubtedly one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life back then. And coming out of that, keeping up with a steady, consistent meditation practice, going deeper into mindfulness, the science aspect of it also, I started working with plant medicine like ayahuasca, right? And which is the extreme sports of mindfulness,
Right.
mind you. And one thing led to another. And in the middle of the pandemic, I was leading a very mindful life with the world around us just going haywire. And I realized that because I was applying these principles of mindfulness very practically to my work and life. So it was very clear at that time that I had to bring this in a much more meaningful, accessible way to the corporate world, which I was a part of, so that the other people can feel that joy and that relief and have a better life like I did. So that's how Calm Corporate was born. It's a pandemic baby.
Wow. Nice. So your pandemic baby is helping a lot of people in the corporate.
That is right. 100%. Yes. Through practical, accessible, easy, simple mindfulness tips, which when practiced consistently, there is no mech mindfulness, thankfully, yet.
Right.
People can actually get a lot of great results. People, organizations, teams, and leaders. Yes.
Now, Raja, how did mindfulness change your life?
So I want to give you like the simplest of examples, Dr. Sass, right? So I knew that mindfulness was changing or already changed my life when somebody cut me off in traffic or on the highway and I was not upset. So there's a joke I tell my friends. I drive a really nice car and I say, like, if you see a Kia cutting off a red Jaguar in Austin highways, that's my car. Because I don't really care. I don't have to show up. I don't have to prove. I don't have to tell anything. Yeah. So for me, one of the greatest gifts of mindfulness was like I said, with that example, it was the relationship with myself. I am full, I am complete, I am content. Now, what do I do with that? And with that, what happened is when I worked on myself, when I was able to change myself, my relationships, the most important relationship with myself, my relationship with my mother and sister just changed, like blossomed, right? And we're like best friends. We talk very often. We're very supportive. There was no passive aggressiveness. All that is gone. I realized my relationship with my friends, my coworkers, like everything became better. So it's like the Swiss Army knife of techniques with mindfulness. So I think I am very grateful to having found these practices and having the chance to apply this in my life.
Nice, nice. I can relate to that because when I was living in Thailand, right, we do a lot of meditation.
Right.
My great uncle, he was a spiritual healer. So we started when we were like 5 years old, go to my uncle's house and meditate. Every Thursday, he had this meditation retreat. Not like a retreat, it's like a get together. Every week, people will come and they meditate for hours. And we like 5, 6 years old, we would meditate. And I remember living in Thailand at that time, everything was just joy, right? We don't worry about anything. And I mean, of course we were kids, but then I moved here, all that was just like wipe out. We stopped meditating and we just do every day, right? And it took me a while. And for me, it was just like you too. When I found meditation again, it was like my life started to change. And thank you for sharing that. That's an amazing story. And I can relate to that 100%.
Yeah. Love the story about your great uncle leading those meditation sessions, right? I mean, I just got that visual of like this quiet place in Thailand where people are chill and living simple lives. And,
it was really simple.
Yeah.
It's like literally his home is wooden and it's like open and people will come, will sit on the floor and just, cross-legged.
Yeah.
And we as children, we were meditating for like 2-3 hours and literally until we could not stand it anymore. I remember just have nothing in my mind except silence.
Wow.
And that was the most like peaceful time in my life that I can remember. So mindfulness works, and we need to kind of slow down and calm down and just experience the present, right? So let me ask you this, Raja. I mean, for us children back then living in the far away land, it was easy, right? To just go for hours and practice meditating. For people in the corporate, how can people in the corporate and society right now, we are busy, we hop in the car, go grab a cup of Starbucks and hit the ground running in our office, open email and stuff like that. How can you slow down and actually incorporate mindfulness in our life?
Sure. So quit your job, quit your families, take a month off, go to the Himalayas, sit in a cave till you get enlightenment, right? No, I don't think that's feasible or practical for many people. Even the 10-day Vipassana is not. I mean, people have things to do. And this is where the Dalai Lama has actually said, there's like 7 billion people in this world who need to be practicing mindfulness, but it's not even feasible to think that they can sit down and meditate for an hour every day. So he is stressing on what, I'm paraphrasing here, these mini mindfulness practices. And they're incredibly effective, done consistently, because we understand the pace of this corporate world. We understand the pace of the real world. Things happen. You have kids, partners and job stressors and what have you. You got to make dinner after you're getting home and things like that. So for your audience, I have like 3 recommendations, 3 techniques that they can use today, right now. And the first one is, yes, it's meditation. It's a very simple meditation where you're actually sitting down, cross-legged, straight, chair, back support, doesn't matter. Spine erect is what I want you to do. And then you're just observing your breath. Put 3 minutes on the clock and you observe your breath. And this is based on Anapanasati, which is the Buddhist meditation technique, which means you're just observing the regular, natural inhalation and exhalation of the breath.
Let me ask you this. We heard a lot of people say it, right? Just, watch your breath or, listen and all this stuff. What does that mean? For a lot of people out there who, meditation is something new to them. It's like the in thing now, right?
Right.
But it actually works. But they don't understand what does that mean when you do you just I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Can you explain that?
Right, I can. So Mark Benioff, the Salesforce CEO, he's a very committed meditator. So Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk from Vietnam, so he actually went and to the Salesforce centers in the Salesforce headquarters and had built these quiet rooms in those Salesforce headquarters. So Mark Benioff says that at this current pace that we are going in this modern corporate world, it's just not necessary to just take a step back, but it's also important to completely turn off. And that is what you're doing with this breath observation. So you're taking your attention off whatever the reptilian brain is doing, which is oh, I got to make coffee, I got to get to work, I got to sleep, I got to pick up the kids. You're taking attention of everything external, and then you're putting it on something which is the most present thing ever, which is your breath. Right.
Observe your breath.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that you can do.
Exactly.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
And you have a couple of other things that we can do.
Sure. So the second one is this technique called box breathing. So imagine a box or a rectangle, right? Like 4 sides. So you inhale for a count of 4, you hold it for a count of 4, you exhale for a count of 4, and then you hold it again for a count of 4.
1, 4, 1, 2, 4. Or you count backwards.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Nice.
Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you do that about say 10 times, and it takes 3 minutes. I've timed it, and that what it does is it hacks into your parasympathetic nervous system. Just that breathing, and studies have shown again and again that just doing that is going to make you less anxious, less stressed. Yeah. And the third practice I have for your viewers is a gratitude practice. Super portable, right? So think of a time whenever you're feeling not your best, when you give and get gratitude for the things that you have. And this is something that my clients struggle with. I'm like, what do I feel grateful about? I'm like, did you wake up with a roof over your head? Yes. Did you have enough food to eat today? Yes. I mean, are you going on a vacation this year? Yes. I'm like, you are in the top 5-6 percentile in the world, right? And this practice of gratitude again and again, there's a professor called Marty Seligman. He's known as the father of happiness. He did a study on gratitude where he took these clinically depressed people and they practiced gratitude for 15 days straight. And after that, they did, the markers, whatever, they study the markers. There was a significant drop in their depression just in 15 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Imagine what could do to you.
Yeah. That's amazing. I heard about several studies because I'm also into mindfulness, and this is amazing that you're here. And there are studies that said, your blood pressure actually lower if you meditate or practice mindfulness. So, for those people out there, taking high blood pressure medication, you can either lower your dose or come off of medication.
Yes. Yes. 100%. Yes.
Thank you. Raja,
Mm.
your program is kind of geared toward people who are working, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of us in the
Mm-hmm.
workforce.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why is mindfulness is important in a work setting?
Absolutely. So mindfulness has always been important in a work setting, SAS. So, I think we are trying to bring the emphasis into it. Uh, so for most business leaders, when you're asking about mindfulness, let me clear this right off the bat. There's a 200% ROI for mindfulness trainings. And SAP has done this in a very large scale across all its global offices. So if you're worried about the financial aspect for it, it's got you covered more than double, right? So there you go. Of course, it's important because it makes money, right? And again, as modern corporations, we are for-profit corporations, so let us make money. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think what is happening in the world that we are living in currently, and COVID has like screwed up things completely for us. So I think people have, excuse my French, it's normalized becoming assholes to each other because we've been behind a computer and we are not worried about the mails we type, we're not worried about the messages we type. And what it has done with that and with the current scenario of layoffs is there is a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress among the workforce right now because we're just, again, what is mindfulness? It's an activity of being in the present. Now, we are catastrophizing about a future, thinking of layoffs or what have you, weak economy, or we're ruminating about, whatever happened in the past. Now, neither of that is going to help you. And that's where practices like gratitude come in. Like, what do you have right now that you can focus on? And with that, with gratitude, with meditation, the normalization of being mean to each other, which we have done in the last few years, I think those can change permanently. So mindfulness has always been important at work, but I'm going to say we're at a time when mindfulness is the most important thing at work. It's just not a trend. It is the future of organizational wellness. And, it also makes good business sense. So why wouldn't you want to have happier employees and a higher bottom line, with simple practices?
Right. So for our listener out there, a lot of people out there never done meditation before.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you for a favor for our audience.
Yeah.
And for me.
Yeah.
Let's can you do like a 3 or a couple minutes? Like what would that if you before you go into work, like if you can take like a couple minutes to do this mindfulness breathing, what would that look like? Can you kind of lead us through that?
100%. I can lead you through that. And I just want to give you and your audience a tip is that try and with mindfulness practices, consistency is the key. The best time to practice it for most people is when they wake up. Please don't look at your phone. Please don't look at your news. Please don't look at your emails. They're always waiting for you. So before you're able to start your day, take those few minutes to ground yourself with a breathing exercise or meditation. That's the time when you are least likely to be disturbed, which is why mornings work for most people, right? Kids are not awake or everybody's sleeping. So do that. So that's my recommendation, is to try and do that. But again, having recommended that, if you miss it, please try to do it later in the day. Don't say to hell with it and this thing. So yeah, let's.
You know what I did?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna share this real quick.
Yeah.
When I was working at the hospital and raising 2 kids, single mom, and I'm like, no time. I'm like, okay, when can I squeeze in this mindfulness thing? I literally drove into the parking lot, park my car, and then turn on my phone and then just close my eyes for like a few minutes before I walk into work.
Yeah.
And that kind of works for me at that time. But the best way, like you said, is like when you wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah. No, thank you. That's a great example. It's perfect, right? That's again those micro mini mindfulness practices that we're talking about, like fit it into different times of your day versus having this lofty goal of sitting for like 30 minutes to an hour and not achieving it, right? Yeah.
I love to be able to sit and meditate for 2 hours every day, but you know, we all of us don't have those 2 hours. There's like so much to do in a day, right? So 3 minutes is like really doable. Let's do it.
100%. 100%. All right.
So feet on the ground.
Feet on the ground. Close your eyes. I'll cue you into it. Okay. So it really doesn't matter whether you're using a back support or not. I'm going to recommend that you keep your spine erect, eyes closed. Relax your shoulders. Relax your upper body. Relax everything. And smile. I don't think there's any scientific basis for this, but this is just a Raja recommendation. Smile makes everything better. So you smile. Now, I want you to take 3 nice deep breaths. I'll cue you into it. And with every breath that you're taking in, take a breath which is inhaling what you want, what you need, the joy, the peace, the calm, the joy of life. And with every exhale, I want you to sigh it out. And when you're sighing it out, I want whatever is not serving you, your anxiety, your stress, and what needs to get done tomorrow that is bothering you, that email that needs to be sent, sigh it out of yourself. So let's go. So everybody's pace is different, so choose your own pace. Inhale. Last one, inhale. Now you should be feeling a little more relaxed, a little more calm. Now in this state, we're going to do our box breathing exercise. So we will do 3 rounds. Remember, we inhale to a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, exhale to a count of 4, and then hold it again for a count of 4. Feel free to vary the pace. You don't need to hold it to a count of 4. You have to use your agency. So just a recommendation. So feel and do what is accessible. And I'm going to start the count. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Now return to your regular, rhythmic, natural breathing. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you guys, that's an example of what you can do in just short minute, I feel better already.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, it's just like more relaxed
Yeah.
and literally you can, I'm like, I can go to sleep now.
I have a tip for your viewers is like, do this before you start meetings.
Yeah.
Right? Like every
Right.
meeting, most corporate meetings that I used to go to, is like we would prepare for like half an hour, and it used to be so tense where we want to throw knives at everybody in the room.
Right.
Like, these are your coworkers and friends, people you work with.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do that. And when you do this, then you realize that the thing that you need to do is solve the problem on the board, not fight with people around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Yeah.
that example. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here, Raja.
Thank you.
I
It
wish
was-
we can talk more. But where can people find you?
Yes, thank you. So the details of my courses are on my website, calmcorporate.com. Same handle, Calm Corporate, on Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm also launching a newsletter called Zen in a Min, where every Monday morning you get 5 actionable tips for 5 days in a week of the work week that will help you deal with the work week in the most mindful way possible and add more joy to your life.
Nice.
So watch out for that. It should be available on my website for sign up by the time this episode airs. YouTube, same thing. So I'm Calm Corporate.
Nice. Calmcorporate.com.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out. Thank you so much, Raja.
Thank you so much, Sass. This was lovely talking to you. Thank you.